New York Times bestselling author Kathryn Stockett visited the Ferguson Library on Thursday, where she talked about her debut novel, The Help. The book tells the tale of a young white woman from the South who writes about the black maids who raised her and their relationships.
Very fortunate and lucky to be one of the venues to host Kathryn Stockett, author of The Help. It's been a huge bestseller. It's been on the bestseller list for I think it's 2 years now, and it's just coming out in paperback, and that's already hit number 2 on the paperback bestseller list. I have read the book. It's fabulous, wonderful story. It really resonates with most of the people who have read it.
The book, according to many of those who attended, touches lives in an honest and profound way.
Well, this book was an inspiration for me because my grandmother grew up in Mississippi, and she told us stories about when she grew up in the time period, but I never really understood what she went through. I live in Connecticut, and I had no exposure to it, and then I got to read the book, and it just kind of took me to that place.
I'm here because, of course, I read the book. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and the story was very relevant to my experience growing up in Dallas.
Well, I found the book very moving and provocative in terms of not realizing what people or how people think at that time period. Coming from the North versus the South kind of enlightened me of a perspective of the way the thinking and the mindset of people during the civil rights era.
I read it quite a while ago, actually, but I guess it was very descriptive and evocative of a time and place that I lived through, but I didn't realize some of the kinds of things that were going on. And the attitudes I was somewhat aware of, but not as aware as this book made me. And it was fun to read, and it was about a very difficult and negative kind of experience, yet somehow it had a hopeful message.
We gonna done it now.
Before Stockett spoke, the library had the privilege to show the trailer of the new film based on the book. She sold the film rights, Stockett says, to her childhood friend because he would honor the story as a Mississippian.
What changed your mind? God. And miss her the whole world. I'm gonna help with your stories. We all are. Y'all brought me into this, but I'm gonna finish it. Have you lost your mind?
Stockett spoke at the library gratis, and her fans appeared to be engrossed in her stories, intently listening to what she would say next.
Here on behalf of Friends of the Ferguson Library, and I wrote a book called The Help, and it takes place in Jackson, Mississippi during the 60s, and it is about the relationships between white women and the black domestic help, and how complicated and complex that is. Well, it doesn't resonate with everybody, but people seem to be very forward about sharing their opinions, and I'm grateful for that. I'm glad that they're talking about the topic of race much more than talking about the book, so I'm glad I started some conversations that might not have happened.
Chair of the Friends of the Ferguson Library said that she hopes that Stockett will be the first of many big-name authors who will visit the Stanford Library.